ka-journal, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Wala pa tayong viewers kasi medyo maaga pa at wala pang 6 o'clock sa mga panahong ito. Tayo po ay mayroong guest for today. Isa po sa mga closest friends namin dito sa New Zealand, ang ating guest of honor, o di ba? Sa gabing ito, and none other than my dear friend and an insurance advisor, si Bobby Chua. Hello, Bobby. Kumusta?
Hello, Jai.
Hello.
Kumusta?
Mabuti naman. Maaga tayo. 6 o'clock pa po talaga yung ating pa-live. Pero we're giving you the chance to share this link sa ating mga Pinoy groups or Pinoy friends or mga messenger friends out there para mas marami tayong mga Pilipino na ma-reach. Ayan. So, before tayo magpunta sa main topic natin ngayon, kukumustahin muna natin syempre si Bobby. Kumusta ka na, Bobby?
It's really good. It's been busy kasi papunta na ng Christmas. So, syempre, bili ng mga regalo sa mga inaanak. Yeah, it's mostly preparing for Christmas. On top of yung ginagawa ko as an insurance advisor, but yeah, it's getting ready, setting up Christmas trees, decoration.
Nice. Meron na kayong mga decoration sa bahay?
Yes,
Nag-start na
meron
kayo?
na. Oo.
Ang aga. Buti pa kayo, kami wala pa. Wala pong naka-prepare. So, inuulit ko lang po, wala pa po tayo sa main na vlog. I'm giving you the chance to share this live link. Meron pa tayong 3 minutes actually bago tayo magsimula ng ating live. So, i-share lang po natin sa mga friends natin, sa mga groups bago tayo mag-start. Ayan. Maraming salamat sa mga nanonood po sa atin ngayon. Mag-comment lang po kung gusto nyo mapa-shoutout. At we will be starting in few minutes. Ayan, nagkukwentuhan lang muna tayo ni Bobby. Siguro simulan na natin kung ito ang pinaka-importanting tanong. Dahil ang ating resource speaker sa gabing ito ay si Bobby Chua. Siyempre, kailangan natin siyang kilalanin. Sino nga ba si Bobby Chua? Okay, Bobby, take it away.
Sige. Before I start, gusto mo bang i-share natin sa Pinoy Sin Enze? Na-share na ba ni Charlie?
Hindi pa niya na-share actually.
Okay.
Nag-aalaga siya ng bata.
That's okay. Let me share it, ha?
Sige, go. Ako din, I'll
So
share.
Share to, there should be a group dito. Sandali. Share now. Sandali, hindi kita marinig. Nawala ka dyan. Ayan, meron na.
Ayan, hindi lang ako nagsasalita.
May option. Ayun, share to a group.
Ayan.
And then, Pinoy Sin NZ.
Sige.
Tamang-tama.
Hindi pa po tayo nag-officially start, ha? We're giving you the time to share po sa ating mga friends, mga kababayan natin na nanonood sa atin ngayon. Ayan. Ito po yung title ng ating episode for today. Life Insurance, Do You Really Need One? With the one and only Bobby Chua, ang bigating Bobby Chua, ang ating nag-iisang po ngayon, guest of honor. Ayan. Ayan, na-share na sa mga Pinoy groups, hopefully. Ayan, habol lang po. And, of course, pwede po kayo mag-comment. Kung meron po kayong time, meron po tayong question and answer portion later after ng mga questions natin na naipon for Bobby. Ayan.
Na-share ko na sa Pinoy Sin NZ too.
Yep. Hello sa mga kababayan sa Manurewa, Pinoy Flatmates in NZ, Buhay Estudyante NZ, at Pinoy sa New Zealand. At sa lahat ng mga kababayan nating nanonood sa gabing ito, uulitin ko lang po ang aking introduction. Magandang gabi po sa lahat. Ngayong gabi po ang ating guest of honor ay isang kaibigan, matalik na kaibigan namin ni Charlie, none other than Bobby Chua. Thank you, Bobby, for gracing our invitation. Ayan. Siyempre, bago ka namin, nag-iisa pala ako ngayon, wala si Kuya Dennis at si Kuya Alan. Bago kita interviewin, let's talk about yourself muna, siyempre. Who is Bobby Chua? Yung background mo para mas makatotohanan, di ba? Baka kasi akala nila kung sino ka lang. Ay, go for it.
Yeah, kasi most people, I think, Chinese ako. Kaya hindi sila nag-message. So, nag-start ako sa New Zealand as a nurse. And I think nag-nursing ako for about 7 years sa Manukau Surgery Center, which is the busiest na surgery center in New Zealand. But with the last 4 years, I have to give up nursing na. kasi I now look after more than 1,000 clients. So, masyadong busy sa servicing. So, I have to really put time na full-time na. I still remember na yung breaking point na magpo-full-time na ba ako ng advisor. After ko ng 8-hour shift, pag-uwi ko, there's like, 10 to 15 emails na I have to answer pa. So parang yun na yung sign na parang, time to do full-time na. So yeah, the last 4 years, full-time na.
So full-time ka na as insurance advisor ngayon, Bobby?
Yeah.
Okay, so what company are you working at the moment?
Peak Financial Services, yes.
Okay, Peak Financial Services. So sa mga nanonood po sa atin ngayong gabi, the topic is all about life insurance. Do you really need one? Ayan, so since meron na po tayong background ni Bobby, before nurse siya na katulad ko, and same workplace, Manukau Surgery Center, di ba? Nakakatuwa naman. So, Bobby, meron ako mga katanungan sa mga nagaling sa mga iba't ibang tao. Well, hindi ko na papahabain pa. Let's go through the life insurance itself. So, let's talk about the policy. Sino ang nangangailangan ng life insurance? At paano ito makakatulong sa atin bilang mga Pilipino na nandito sa New Zealand?
Sige. So, I think kapag pinag-uusapan yung insurance, karamihan ng bago pa sa atin sa New Zealand, medyo hindi tayo sanay sa conversation na to kasi sa Philippines, we really don't have it. It's parang, it's just optional yung sa Philippines. And usually, kasi mahal sa Philippines, I would say most people don't get it. Dito sa New Zealand, I think ang pinaka-importanteng maintindihan muna bakit mo kailangan ng insurance is tingnan muna natin ano ba yung makukuha natin sa government if wala tayong insurance. So let's just say wala kang insurance and gusto mo lang na mag-rely sa gobyerno, ano ba yung meron in terms of financial health? Kasi insurance is about money. Okay. So there's two things, na main things na we have to understand. So number one, ACC. So meron po tayong ACC. Ang pinaka-key point na benefit ng ACC is ma-aksidente ka, hindi ka makapag-work, babayaran ng ACC yung sahod mo, which is 80% ng sahod mo minus tax. So if you're earning, let's say, 4,000 a month, na-aksidente ka, wala kang insurance, ACC will pay you roughly about $2,000 after tax. Okay, so that's the good thing about accident. May ACC but nawalan ka ng kalahati ng income mo. Okay? The other question would be, what if hindi aksidente? So, it could be long-term COVID. It could be heart attack, stroke, whatever it is, basta anything outside ng aksidente, illness. So, magkasakit. Most people are not actually eligible for WINS or working income. Okay? Even if eligible ka ng WINS, masyadong mababa yung weekly na compensation nila na it's not even enough to pay for the rent. So doon na yung nagsistart yung question na so kung magkasakit ka and hindi ka eligible sa WINS or kahit pa eligible ka pero kulang, saan ka kukuha ng tulong? Okay? It could be mag-give a little page, but the safest way to really plan ahead is insurance. So doon na siya talaga na you can appreciate na, okay, so ito pala yung benefits ng New Zealand, okay, kailangan ko pa talaga ng insurance pala dito sa New Zealand.
So may mga criteria ba, Bobby, before one gets the insurance? Like, for example, yung mga kababayan natin, usually may work visa sila or maybe mga citizen na sila dito. So, ano yung criteria before one can get an insurance? Kunwari, can a 10-year-old person get a life insurance? Parang ganon?
Sige. So, sa kids, there are certain rules for the life cover kasi may nangyari na kasi dati and this was long time ago na I think parent intentionally hurt the child just to get the life insurance. So, since then, hindi na pwede. But yung mga critical illness and medical insurance, pwede sa bata, any age. But going back to your question, meron kasing 4 na insurance benefits, and sa lahat ng naka 1 year working visa, basically eligible sila sa lahat ng klase ng insurance benefits except lang sa medical insurance. Okay. And then anyone with 2 years working visa and above, then they can have or they have the options to apply for any types of cover, including medical insurance. And klaruhin ko lang yung 2 years. Pwede yung 1 year working visa tapos nag-renew ulit ng 1 year, they're still eligible for the medical insurance.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, ibig sabihin pala, yung insurance na parang ino-offer dito is pwede siya kahit anong visa yung hawak mo. Hindi lang ba sa visit visa? Yun nga lang?
The visit visa will be travel insurance.
Travel insurance. Okay.
Yes.
So, isa pa na lagi kong naano is, how would you compare the life insurance here in New Zealand sa Philippines? Kasi kung hindi ako nagkakamali, may mga life insurance marami sa Pilipinas. Philam Life, Sun Life, Generali. Yan, meron din lahat ako yan. Tapos meron din ako life insurance dito. So parang, anong difference nila if you've got the insurance in the Philippines tapos may insurance ka rin dito?
Sige, that's a very good question. And the easiest way to explain it is, tinatawag naming endowment policy yung insurance sa Pinas, wherein meron siyang halong investment. Okay? It's popular in Philippines, Canada, America. Sa New Zealand, I think 10 or 15 years ago, it used to exist, but the Reserve Bank of New Zealand had to stop it. Kasi number 1, masyado siyang risky. Number 2, hindi siya makakahabol sa inflation. So what the Reserve Bank of New Zealand has done is they've split the investment and insurance. So kung gusto mag-invest dito, it's purely investment. Kung gusto mong kumuha ng insurance dito, it's purely insurance. So the question would be, ano ba yung advantage for doing this? The advantage would be, yung pera ng insurer is always available and ready to pay out. In fact, lahat ng insurance companies dito, meron silang between, I think, 30 to 100 million na cash on hand dapat mini-maintain, so that kapag may maramihan, kunwari COVID, may biglang 200 na namatay, they have the capacity to pay. So yun yung advantage, may capacity to pay ka agad, mailabas ka agad yung pera. In terms of benefits, malayo yung definition, and yung mas comprehensive tayo dito sa New Zealand compared sa other countries. And that's also because may ACC tayo. So hindi masyadong mabigat sa mga insurance companies yung business nila dito kasi accidents-wise, sinasalo ng ACC. So sa cost ng insurance companies, hindi masyadong masakit yung payout nila. So in return, pwede silang mag-upgrade ng wording. So kapag kinakumpara ko yung wordings ng Pilipinas and New Zealand, masyadong malayo talaga. Like, in terms of you can get paid, masyadong mas mauuna kang mabayaran dito. I think one of the best example for that would be yung first client ko na namatay sa Philippines. He's got both life insurance sa Pinas and life insurance sa New Zealand. So he died in Philippines, pero I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3 days lang nailabas na namin yung pera dito sa New Zealand yan na insurance company.
Ang bilis pala, oo.
But sa Philippines, nailibing na lang siya, hindi pa nailabas yung pera. So there's a huge difference in terms sa purely lang na insurance company and investment and insurance.
Okay. So the services you offered, it's not only life insurance kasi meron din iba't ibang insurance like tulad meron din medical insurance, right? And life insurance, yan. Isa sa mga madalas na natatanong is libre yung yung medical yung services medically dito sa New Zealand. So bakit pa sila kailangan kumuha ng medical insurance kung libre naman pala yung mga pa-blood test or minsan subsidized yung papunta sa GP. So bakit siya kailangan? I mean, why would you pay something kung libre naman pala siya? dito sa New Zealand. Yan yung isa sa lagi nating nababasa sa mga post, di ba, Bobby? So, maybe you can enlighten us about that.
Sure. And I love medical insurance kasi I've worked in the Manukau Surgery Center. Yan po yung public hospital where nakafocus yung elective surgeries ng mga taga South Auckland. So I know the politics behind it. I know how the booking works. I know how the waiting list works. Kaya medyo, sabihin na lang natin medyo bias ako sa medical insurance kasi I know by heart anong nangyayari. So, to start with, lahat ng naka 2 years working visa and above, resident, citizens, correct. Libre kayo lahat. Libre sa surgery, specialist, tests, cancer treatment, blood tests, anything you need, libre. That's correct. Wala kayong babayaran. Okay? But, may malaking but. It doesn't mean you can access it kaagad. Just because it's free, doesn't mean you can access it kaagad. Meron
so
po kaming, So, meron po kaming tinatawag na criteria. Okay? And your GP knows it. Okay? So, let's just say, masakit na masakit yung tiyan mo. And let's say, pumunta ka ng Middlemore Hospital. Wala kang ibang simptomas. Masakit lang yung tiyan mo. The first thing we do, kukunan ka namin ng bloods. Okay? If your blood test return normal, likely scenario, uuwi ka talaga kahit pa masakit yung tiyan mo.
Painkiller lang. Yeah.
Painkillers, pag nag-improve ka sa painkillers, uwi ka talaga kasi sa bloods pa lang, wala nang makita eh. Now, you can argue na what if sabihan ko yung doktor na, Doc, i-ultrasound mo naman ako. There's actually not enough reason, so hindi ka pasok sa criteria to justify to use the ultrasound kasi madaming tao ang kailangan ng ultrasound within that hospital. Okay? So may pumipila din within that hospital. So hindi basta-bastang just because gusto mo lang kasi libre and entitled ka na makukuha mo siya. It reminds me that article, I think 4 months ago, yung batang 3 months nang masakit yung ulo. I'm pretty sure nagsusuka and then there was another symptom.
Okay.
Hindi man lang siya na CT scan. The only reason bakit siya na CT scan because pumunta na yung parents sa media. Then the public hospital had to act. And that's how it works eh. Kapag ka pinamedya mo, you will get the attention you need. But that child, yung symptoms pa lang na 3 and headache na 3 buwan, you would tell to yourself na parang dapat CT scan na yan, but you cannot blame the doctor, you cannot blame the hospital kasi they adjust based on the pressure and gaano kahaba yung waiting list. So, talking about waiting list, gaano ba talaga kahaba yung waiting list? Before COVID, 4 to 12 months.
Ang waiting list for the ano ba? For the
surgery, test? Surgery specialists.
Yeah, okay.
So 4 to 12 months. That is 6 months yan. We tried our best and we managed to get it to 4 months, but we cannot get it to 3 months. It's impossible. That's before COVID. After COVID, medyo we've lost track na. And if you remember the article probably 2 to 3 weeks ago, Middlemore is canceling 1,000 surgeries per week. And that's just one public hospital. Okay? That's because puno na yung ICU, hindi ka po basta-bastang makapag-opera. If you're a doctor, hindi ka magre-risk na mag-o-opera kasi there's a chance na hindi makagising yung pasyente and saan mo siya dadalhin kung hindi siya makagising kung walang ICU bed. The other thing too is COVID. Pupunuin ng COVID patients ang ICU. The backup niyan would be high dependency unit. And then the second backup niyan is operating theater kasi yung anesthetic machine namin can actually do as a ventilator. So everything is preparing for COVID. And as you've seen on the news today, we're not just dealing with Delta, we're about to deal with, I think, 40 times worse than Delta. So,
a new variant then.
Yun yung always kong ine-educate na without medical insurance, you will never have a proactive treatment or you may never get your treatment on time. So kung meron kang bukol sa breast, wala kang medical insurance, hindi ka mabigyan ng time or schedule for your surgery or biopsy, and nag-antay ka ng 12 months, what is your guarantee na yung bukol na yon hindi magpo-progress? So, you're paying for a medical insurance to ensure na you can get proactive na care. I've got a recent, I always get claims every week, but my last claim, she's had medical insurance for, I think, 4 years. It's first time na nag-claim siya, but she's very thankful kasi dalawa yung kinlaim niya, pero yung specialist, she managed to see a specialist in 3 days kaagad.
Oh, dahil may medical insurance siya. So, parang yung urgency nandoon.
So, yeah, you can access. So, basically, the bottom line is, it can save your life. Are you paying for it? Absolutely. Kasi magastos po ang medical insurance sa mga insurance company. In fact, halos wala po silang kinikita sa medical insurance kasi doon lumalabas yung pera nila. Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you, Bobby, for that. Medyo enlightening yun. Kasi totoo po, since si Bobby po ay previous nurse katulad ko, and yung mga usual na patients po namin ngayon, yung mga pasyente namin ngayon sa surgical center, has been waiting for months, even years, at wala silang, parang wala silang choice kasi publicly yung health system dito is funded. So, naghihintay lang sila. Tapos, ayun, kahit sobrang sakit na, wala silang magawa. Kasi, yun nga, naghihintay lang sila sa time na magiging okay yung surgery nila dahil na-cancel or na-postpone dahil sa COVID itself, di ba? So,
Yes.
Bobby, isang mahalagang tanong is, meron, 22 minutes, so meron pa tayong almost 8 minutes before
Okay.
Pero baka mag-overtime tayo. Benefits of having an insurance at saka how much would one cost it? So parang magkano yung kailangan namin bayaran para magkaroon ng life insurance/medical insurance at ano yung mga benefits of having it? Na-explain mo na kanina yun, pero maybe meron pang ibang reason why one who is living in New Zealand na Filipino ang makaka-benefit of having an insurance here in New Zealand.
Sige. Pag insurance yung pag-uusapan, I always say na it's based on priority. Each family, each individual, meron tayong iba't ibang priority, meron tayong iba't ibang circumstances in life. So we could be talking to someone who's may pamilya na dito sa New Zealand but he's the breadwinner. So basically, he would want a life cover, a critical illness, maybe an income protection, and maybe a medical insurance. So budget-wise, I would say sa medical insurance, you're looking at about $4 per day. Pero sa life, trauma, and income protection, that's also roughly about $4 per day. So yung presyo ng medical cover is about the same kung i-combine mo yung tatlong life, trauma, and income protection. So, that's just to give an indication. Pero iba't ibang tao, iba't iba yung pangangailangan. I think, and I have seen this a lot, na I think marami yung natatakot kumausap ng advisor because they feel like binebentahan sila. Just to remind you na ang role ng advisor is to explain and to guide you. Hindi po namin role na sabihan kayo na, hey, dapat you have to spend $100, $200 per fortnight. Hindi po namin, basically, that's not our job. That's your job na mag-decide na, okay, so ito yung nirecommend ni Bobby, 4 na benefits, but I think ito lang yung 3 kukunin ko kasi ito lang yung parang pasok sa budget ko. Okay? So, yun yung importante. Yung advisor, tumutulong lang sa pag-explain, i-guide kayo, but at the end of the day, kayo din po yung magde-decide ano lang yung gusto nyong kukunin para sa inyo.
Okay. Paano naman, Bobby, yung mga merong mga sakit na, are they still, can they still have the insurance? Like, kunwari, ako, wag naman sana, kunwari may cancer ako, can I still have or apply for an insurance? Para lang sa mga kababayan natin. We will go to the Q&A portion in a bit later. Marandami kong tanong. Diba? Pero, yun lang yung tanong ko, what if meron na akong pre-existing na kondisyon? O kaya, meron na akong diabetes or meron na akong alta presyon? Ayan. So, pasok pa ba ako? Pwede pa ba ako kumuha ng insurance?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Okay, so going back to your first question, you've given me a scenario na may cancer ka. If your cancer na-treat na and it's more than 5 years, I could find an insurance company na we could get some cover for you. If it's less than 5 years, unfortunately, that's defer, meaning walang makapag-offer sa'yo. That's just their guidelines, okay? Diabetes, depende sa gaano kataas yung blood sugar mo, how well you control your blood sugar. There's still a chance na we can cover the diabetes, except sa medical insurance, but we can still find you an insurance company and we can still apply for coverage. But ang theory lang yan is the more mas mataas yung blood sugar mo, the more chance na limited yung options natin and mas mahal. So the idea would be, habang healthy ka pa, that's the best time actually na mag-apply ka. Kasi sometimes I get an urgent phone call na, sir, kuha ako ng medical insurance. And I know from the tone ng conversation na parang may urgency. So sabi ko, okay, is there something going on? Ay, sir, kailangan ko kasi magpa-ultrasound. So, yung scenario na yon, medyo too late na kumuha ng medical insurance for something na nangyari na. Kasi the idea po ng insurance says, lalo na sa medical insurance, kunin mo siya so that ika-cover yung mga hindi pa nangyari before. Meron namang mga pre-existing conditions na kaya kong i-negotiate on your behalf as long as medyo couple of years na and as long as ma-justify natin. Yeah, hindi naman automatically na pre-existing condition na excluded kagad. There are na kayang i-negotiate.
Okay, so thank you. So, ayun po. So, sa mga kababayan natin, i-recap ko lang. So, may mga tao dito sa New Zealand, mga kababayan natin specifically, na pasok sa eligible to have the insurance. Tapos yung costing is, if I'm not mistaken, Bobby, depende. Is it like personalized talaga yun? You have to talk to them, di ba?
Yeah, and I'll just give some factors bakit nagkakaiba yung mga presyo. Kasi sometimes mahilig tayong mag-compare sa mga, lalo na yung mga birthday parties, tapos na pag-usapan ng insurance. The only, and it surprised me talaga kasi the only conversation na they have is magkano yung binabayaran mo and nothing else. And yun yung the most irrelevant question kasi ganito yan. Magkakaiba yung premium ninyo kasi number one, magkaiba yung insurance company niyo. Number two, magkaiba yung benefits na kinuha ninyo. Number three, magkaiba yung edad ninyo. Maybe magkaiba yung gender ninyo. Maybe yung sum insured ninyo magkaiba. Maybe yung excess na pinili yung magkaiba. Maybe yung medical history ninyo magkaiba. Or maybe your parents ninyong medical history magkaiba. So, madaming factors. Kaya hindi siya talaga siya best, trying to ask, hey, magkano binabayaran mo?
Oo nga. I think kasi parang ganun tayo mga Pilipino, di ba? Parang bumili ka lang ng isang gamit na magkano yung bili mo sa ganito. So I think tama ka doon kasi isa yun sa laging na-open up sa mga sa mga kwentuhan like magkano. Wag laging yung magkano yung pero yes, in saying that, I agree with you na iba-iba kasi yung background natin. Di ba meron din difference ang gender, kung babae o lalaki, o kaya yung isa
babae mas mahal.
yung isa hindi. So, mas mahal yung nagyoyosi. Kasi
that's correct.
Maraming pwedeng mangyari sa mga nagyoyosi. So, iwas-yosi po tayo. So,
it's about $20 more ang nagyoyosi per fortnight.
Tapos ganun pa. So,
at least $25, yeah.
Mahal siya.
Okay,
so pumunta muna tayo sa mga comments sa Q&A na tayo. Wait lang, mag-shoutout muna tayo. Hello, Laika and Jose De Leon Jr. Good evening po to Alejandro Cruz II. Ano mga tinagto? Ayan, hello po. Tapos Kuya Alan, hello.
Oy, si Alan.
Tayo ngayong gabi. Pasensya na. Ayan, mga tag. Ito, may question tayo for now. If ever kung for good ka na, refundable daw ba yung insurance dito? If yes, how many % po?
Okay, ayan. I think what he's trying to say is,
I think sinasabi niya residency ba to?
It could be either uuwi na siya or maybe ayaw na niya. Okay? Na
Okay,
i-continue
yes.
yung insurance.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
refundable ba? Hindi po. Kasi, and I'll explain bakit. Nagbabayad po tayo ng insurance because we are trying to protect na if may mangyari sa atin, ito yung pera na gusto nating ibayad ng insurance company sa atin. Okay, so we're paying for the chance na mangyari. Of course, the other side of the coin is the insurance company is taking that risk. So kinukuha niya yung pera mo, okay? But alam din nila na there's a chance na mababayaran ka din doon sa mga benefits na in-apply mo. So you're paying to cover the risk. So hindi po yan siya refundable. So, kaya siya ibang-iba yung insurance ng New Zealand sa Philippines, wherein after 10 years, of course, pwedeng i-withdraw, you stop. But the other side din ng Pilipinas na policy would be if you're just following the US dollar and what's happening right now, it's not looking good. So what if, and this is just a what if, I'm not saying it will happen, what if everything in the stock market crash? Do you think yung insurance mo sa Philippines would still exist kasi naka-invest yung pera mo? It could be worst case scenario, worst case scenario, kahit pa nagbayad ka ng 10 years, na bankrupt and wala din patutunguhan yung I'm not saying it will happen, but just looking at where the dollar index right now, yun yung risk na ayaw ng New Zealand.
Oo nga. Yeah. I agree. Ito muna, ibang shout out pa. Hello po kay Ma'am Annie Santos Mendoza. And meron tayo ditong comments. Kung may mga questions po kayo, feel free to comment it down below. From Richard Dean Anderson, public funding has been backlog since last year pa dahil sa COVID. Yes, totoo po ito. Sobrang delayed na po lahat. Pati po ang Manukau Surgical Center, there was a time na nag-close kami at nasa Middlemore kami just because kinancel lahat ng surgery. So, totoo po talaga yan. Hello po, pa-shoutout daw kay Doc Bobby. Sabi ni Charlie. I love. And hello po, sabi ni Kuya Jose De Leon. Wala tayong masyadong questions kasi siguro natanong ko actually lahat. Meron akong nakalimutan na itanong pero nakalimutan ko kung ano yung itatanong ko. Ano ba ito? Nakakainis naman. Meron pa mga last few words, Bobby, sa ating mga kababayan. 32 minutes. Oh, okay ka pa ba? Or meron
ka Okay, sige. No, walang problema.
Anong last few words mo sa ating mga kababayan? Tungkol sa life insurance. Wait lang pala. Ito pala yung sabihin ko. Dito sa US, tama ba to? Sa US, usually nangyayari, nanonood ako ng mga movie, hindi naman movie, mga documentary, na kunwari, may insurance kami mag-asawa, tapos minsan, nilalason nung babae, yung asawa niyang lalaki, para makuha yung insurance nung asawa niya. Kasi nga, malaki yung pera. In saying that, in life insurance, tama ako na kung may mangyaring masama sa partner mo, meron kang insurance na makukuha, di ba?
That's correct.
That's what you wanted, that's what your partner wanted you to have. Yeah, so isa yon that is one of the benefits, hindi ba ako nagkakamali, na kung may asawa ka or kung meron ka may mga anak ka na bata, you want them to make sure na may brighter future sila kahit wala ka na.
Yeah.
Tama ba?
So, tama. Kasi kanya-kanya naman ang reason bakit tayo kumukuha ng life insurance. But yung sabi mo na nilalason, it's possible. It's possible. It's, I guess, pwedeng i-contest yan ng family kapag na-prove talaga so that the insurance company or the court will stop the insurance company for the payout. So basically, kapag kinwestiyon ng family, I think there's room for insurance company to really pause and wag mo nang i-release yung pera. Pero while nandoon tayo sa subject na yan, para po sa mga may insurance policies sa New Zealand, kapag kinuha nyo siya sa bangko, most of the time po, mali yung policy ownership. So, it means kahit na married kayo, nandito yung asawa ninyo, and you pass away, kasi po, kayo lang yung policy owner, kahit pa nag-claim yung asawa ninyo, tapos, nagbigay ng marriage contract, the insurance company cannot pay your husband, kasi iba po yung law natin sa New Zealand kaysa sa Philippines. Kaya po, yung mga situation na yun, kailangan nyo po talaga ng will. And yung will, you can get it like kay Attorney Jean Bagsik as well. Yeah. But yeah, kailangan ng will. And it's not just for insurance, para po sa lahat. Iba lang talaga yung law natin dito sa mga naiwang assets. Oo.
So, yung will, I'm talking about will. So, kahit sinong lawyer pwedeng gumawa or kahit JP pwedeng gumawa ng will, di ba?
Pwede. Technically, pwede mo siyang gawin by yourself, but there's always a lot of room of mistakes na pwedeng madaling maging invalid yung will mo. You're best to really ask for a professional advice, like, you know, Attorney Jean Bagsik. Kasi, yeah, and Attorney Ronan, kasi isang beses mo lang naman babayaran yung will eh. And that's it.
One off. And kahit na anong klaseng visa ka pa, you can always have a will. Kasi yun yung parang, kung kunwari may mangyari sa akin, at least may, alam mo saan mapupunta yung mga sapatos mo, mga damit mo. I mean, talking about the lesser important things in life.
Yung mga plants mo, of course, yung mga mamahalin mong plants.
Yung mga halaman mo, di ba? Hello sa mga plantito at plantitas dyan. O may mga questions pa tayo dito. Ano daw ang benefit ng life insurance kung wala naman daw silang pag-iiwanan ng pera?
Very good question. Kasi ang life insurance po, it's not just namatay ka, nag-iwan ka ng pera. It's actually also if you're terminally ill. So kung sinabihan ka ng doktor na may taning na yung buhay mo, you can still get paid ng life insurance kahit buhay ka pa, and you can spend that money the way you want it. But yun yung dalawang reason, either nag-iwan ka ng pera, it's for you na may taning na yung buhay mo. Okay? So kung single ka, wala ka ng family, yeah, sensible pa rin yung life insurance, but more important siguro yung mga critical illness and medical insurance para sa'yo kung single and then wala ng family to really leave some assets behind. Yeah.
Okay. And meron tayong last question. Sa mga gusto pong makipag-engage or may mga katanungan or gustong magkaroon ng life insurance or medical insurance tulad namin ni Charlie at ng mga friends namin, you can contact Bobby through his Facebook page, Bobby Chua, Facebook account, Bobby Chua. So, ayan, Bobby Chua, yun lang, wala kang page, di ba, Bobby? Yan, i-message niyo lang po siya sa Messenger at sasagot po siya sa inyo. Sabihin niyo lang po napanood niyo itong video na ito. So, meron po ito, nasagot mo na yata to. Kailangan po ba talaga ng last will kung sakaling may mangyari sa akin dito, sa pamilya? Ni Ate Marjem de la Rosa. Last will. Siguro next topic natin yan, yung last will.
Pwede siyang i-touch very briefly, but I won't deep dive on it kasi it's not my field of expertise na. That's for Attorney Jean and Attorney Ronan. But, yes, so kailangan niyo po ng will dito, regardless may insurance or wala, kasi sa will, doon niyo po ilalagay kung sino yung pag-iiwanan niyo ng mga assets ninyo. But most importantly, kapag ka may anak kayo, if both of you pass away ng, partner ninyo, sino ba yung maglulook after ng anak ninyo? Okay? Kasi otherwise, yung government will just assign any social worker, and you don't know how they will be treated. So will isn't just about the assets, it's also for your kids as well. But beyond that, definitely talk to our Filipino lawyers. Yeah.
Totoo. Actually, kami ni Charlie, meron kaming last will. So kahit healthy kami at mga buhay na buhay pa kami, yung last will namin, kahit yung mga bag namin or mga laruan ni Charlie na mga nakalista po lahat yan.
Oh my God, yung collection ni Charlie.
Lahat yan nakalista just to make sure na kung may mangyari sa amin, kung may pera man kaming maiiwan, mapupunta sa mga bata at hindi lang siya mapupunta sa kahit saan, di ba? So, it's like a peace of mind for us parents at lalo na sa mga magulang dyan na nakikinig at nanonood sa atin. Having a last will is like preparing yourself kung may mangyari man na hindi natin alam. Kasi nga, accidents do happen and life happens. Last question, siguro, Bobby, is that okay? Sobrang napahaba na to. Sorry. Tanong lang po, halimbawa, for how many years na akong nagbabayad sa insurance, tapos lilipat ako ng ibang insurance company. Ma-refund ko ba kaya yung binayad ko for how many years sa dating insurance ko? So, I think...
Okay. So, I think na answer ko na po yan. Hindi po siya nare-refund kasi nagbabayad tayo ng insurance in the hope na kapag may nangyari sa atin, babayarin din tayo in return. So, I guess, para siyang pumunta ka ng casino, nag-bet ka sa blackjack, and you're hoping na kapag manalo ka, then babayaran ka. In insurance, of course, nagka-heart attack ka, then you expect na babayaran. Kasi di ba sa blackjack, kapag ka binet mo na, kinuha na yung pera. Okay? Kasi there's a chance na babayaran ka din nila. So, hindi po marirefund, pero yung lilipat ka ng insurance, just be careful. And your advisor should be also telling you that na there's always risk sa paglipat ng insurance companies. So, make sure lang na you're doing full medical disclosure. Kumbaga, like sinabi mo lahat ng medical history mo sa bagong insurance company para hindi ka magka-problema.
Okay. Hello, pasensya na po. Ito na, last, Bobby, last few words to our mga kababayan. At again, sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig at nanonood, if you want to touch base with Bobby Chua, i-message nyo lang po siya sa kanyang Facebook page, Bobby Chua, kung gusto nyo po magkaroon ng life insurance. The one thing I really like about Bobby is personalized yung touch niya. I mean, tatanungin ka talaga niya kung ano yung mga kailangan mo, ano yung mga future plans mo, which is really good kasi hindi mo yun nakukuha sa ibang insurance advisor, di ba? So maybe last words, Bobby, any last few words sa ating mga kababayan na nakikinig at nanonood sa ating vlog sa gabing ito?
Okay. We're living in a time where we don't know what's gonna happen with the COVID, whether we're gonna live with it or matatalo ba natin si COVID, or maybe we just don't know. Okay, so with this, I just want you to understand that insurance companies are keeping an eye of this. In fact, some insurance companies are now starting to ask questions kung nag-positive ka na. So, meaning, if wala ka pang insurance or hindi pa talaga maayos yung insurance mo, ipaayos mo na, wag mong antayin, because the last thing you don't want is yung bagong policy mo meron ng COVID exclusion. Kasi kapag binago ng insurance company yung guidelines nila, it doesn't matter how good your advisor is, wala kaming magagawa kasi that's a guideline. So while hindi pa masyadong crazy yung numbers natin sa New Zealand and hindi pa grabe, ayusin nyo na po. Whether, mayroon kang yung kakilalang advisor or may advisor na kayo, balikan nyo yung advisor. Fix whatever needs to be fixed kasi yeah, I can foresee talaga na it will happen. Maglalagay talaga ng COVID exclusion yan. Pero kasi pag may policy ka na at naumpisahan na, technically, hindi na pwedeng lagyan ng COVID exclusion. It's more on sa mga bago pa lang mag-a-apply.
Okay. Oo nga. And especially sa time ngayon na hindi mo na alam kung COVID is everywhere at lalo pong dumadami ang kaso dito sa New Zealand. So, grab the opportunity to have one dahil wala pong pera ang mga kabayad sa peace of mind. At kung may mangyari sa'yo bilang magulang ka, what you always wanted is what's best for your family, di ba? So, ayan, maraming salamat. 43 minutes. Pasensya na, Bobby. I'm sure yung mga
That's okay. That's okay.
Thank you so much for gracing my invite.
Uy, maraming salamat din.
Kung lang po kayo, i-comment nyo or i-message nyo po si Bobby kung gusto nyo po magkaroon ng scheduled appointment to him. Online lahat ng mga transactions mo at the moment dahil sa COVID. Tama ba ako?
That's correct. And makikita nyo dyan sa likod ko, meron na akong, anong tawag dyan, yung parang pang-exercise kasi palagi na akong nakaupo. Oo, but yes.
Ayan, so i-message ka lang nila sa iyong Facebook account just in case gusto nila makipag-engage. And ayan, maraming salamat po sa mga sumama sa amin sa gabing ito. Kuha na kayo ng life insurance mga kababayan dahil importante po ito para sa ating mga Pilipino na naninirahan abroad, OFW. Malaking tulong po ito, especially sa mga panahong tulad nito. Ayan, so I think that's it. Thank you so much, Bobby.
Sige.
Stay safe, be kind, and let your light shine, kabayan. Paalam! Bye-bye! Bye-bye!